For the Sampson family, it was supposed to be a record-breaking trip round Africa clockwise. Travelling in a big green truck, fuelled by vegetable oil, raising awareness about the environment and, for 10-year-old Zola, catching some amazing waves on the way. But the trip has now been stopped in its tracks by the Ebola outbreak, and the Sampsons are back in Britain.
It's about a month ago things started changing, and suddenly in the supermarkets people were wearing rubber gloves when they were serving you and not wanting to touch you, and there were signs up saying, please, no shaking of hands, wash your hands. It started to feel a bit strange. It started to feel more like you're in a movie. It didn't feel real, like Outbreak the movie, people wearing masks.
The family had got as far as Liberia, the worst affected country, when they decided it was time to come home.
It wasn't until just before I left that things started to get a bit scary. I'd moved to Robertsport, a coastal village, and there a woman had been diagnosed with Ebola, and her family broke her out of the hospital there. And she was walking down the road just by where we were staying with her family all touching her. Now she's living in the village with her family members, 5 people who undoubtedly will be infected as well.
And it's just so sad that this has hit Liberia just as they're coming out. I mean, it's more than 10 years since their violent history, and they've come so far. And it's a terrible shame that they're being knocked down again just when they're getting back on their feet.
Now the truck is in an embassy compound in Liberia. The borders are closed and they don't know when they'll be reunited with it. Mark says Ebola has affected everything, even the way normally tactile Africans greet each other.
The normal African handshake would be quite a lot of skin contact for quite a time, even going and clicking and all sorts. Lots of contact. And then it evolved to the point with Ebola where people just wanted a little fist bump and that's all they'd do. And now the Ebola handshake has evolved to the point where you don't touch skin at all. It's just the Ebola elbow.
Guinness World Records has agreed to let the Sampsons resume their attempt to beat the record for the longest distance travelled on alternative fuel once the situation improves. Until then, they're forced to wait. Chloe Axford, BBC Spotlight.